An American who became a superpower has to know a little about the history of the past to fully understand history of today. History says that even 250 years ago, there was no country called the United States of America. On July 4, 1767, when the United States of America was liberated, the great control of the United States was in the hands of 3 countries. And those 3 countries were Spain, Portugal, and the UK, before the establishment of the United States of America. The Native Americans were the owners of a large area. The Native American map was exactly like this, where all Native Americans lived together with the whole of America, regardless of caste, religion, race. In 1794, the Native Americans started occupying these lands and the United States of America. At that time, America realized that due to such illegal occupation, at one time, some external force could invade them. And that force could be Spain. In 1795, on October 12, 1795, Sunday-Lorenzo Treaty was signed between America and Spain, which is also known as Pincus Treaty. After the Sun-Lorenzo Act, America began to acquire the land of the Native Americans in large numbers, and the Native Americans began to leave their land. You will be surprised to see that at that time, about 5,500 to 10,000 acres of land were sold for only $6 to $8. Imagine today, you won't get a t-shirt for $7 to $8 in the US market. When the Native Americans were being deported to their homelands, the United States passed the Dawes Act in 1887 to deport them. As a result of the Dawes Act, the Native Americans were deported from their homelands. I can give you an example to understand the Dawes sector. That is, a few days ago, the Indian government banned them from the Kashmir administration. After losing the Kashmir administration, the Indian government was able to establish its own administration in Kashmir. The same thing was done by the Native Americans in the United States in 1889. At the time when the Native Americans were taking over the land, in 1845, they took over Texas from Mexico. And Texas was the first country in American history to take over a land. With this, the Americans helped them in taking over their own land in various places. In 1861, the American State Secretary was William Henry Shower, who thought for the first time that America should be recognized as a global power. Officially, the first start of America's recognition as a global power was from there. At that time, the whole world saw how the European Union spread all over the world. At that time, the whole of America was criticized by Spanish, Portuguese, French and British imperialism. After conquering Texas on the first day, he started dreaming about America and started to spread his rule across America. And that started in Cuba. At that time, the Spanish were ruling Cuba. To get rid of the Spanish, he came to 1898 and started a huge revolution there. When the anti-colonial activists started the anti-Spanish movement in Cuba, America supported that movement. After the American support, Cuba became very fast. America was at the forefront of the Spanish Revolution. At the same time, the Philippines, Guam and Puerto Rico, which were at the forefront of Spain, were at the forefront of America. After the end of the 18th century, the Spanish country moved away from here, and their success was the first success of America. It is not possible for a country's government to become a Chinese superpower. It requires a lot of human cooperation. For example, when the British invaded India, East India Company was the first to take over the position. In the same way, in order to invade Hawaii, American businessmen invaded Hawaii for the first time and invited America to annex Hawaii with America. At that time, American President Cleveland refused it, and the president who came during